Welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right into this, because today we are unpacking some truly fascinating research on a pretty frustrating reality. Why having the technical skills to solve the world's biggest problems simply isn't enough. We're going to be looking closely at the missing link between knowing exactly what to do and actually doing it.
So let's kick things off with a simple question. Why doesn't knowledge always lead to action? Think about it for a second. Have you ever had the exact skills to do something, maybe fix a complex piece of software or execute a really detailed project, but you just hesitated? What held you back? It wasn't a lack of know-how. There's a psychological gap there, and exploring that gap is exactly what we're going to do today.
Section 1. Global Challenges and STEM. To really wrap our heads around this gap, we first have to look at the massive scale of the problems out there and the specific toolkit we're using to fight them. Take the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Fun fact for you, there are 169 specific targets baked into these goals, covering everything from global poverty to clean energy. These aren't just isolated, simple issues. They are incredibly complex, deeply interconnected global challenges. We're talking about massive systems, where pulling a single thread over here completely unravels something over there. Tackling these requires some extraordinary, dynamic problem solving.
Now, what's really cool is how STEM education equips us perfectly for this. It's literally the ultimate toolkit. STEM isn't just about memorizing math equations. It's about critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. It provides the exact mental hardware required to break down these massive problems into solvable pieces.
And if you look at how these map out, specific STEM skills, like systems thinking, plug directly into our ability to untangle these sustainable development challenges. It's like a giant puzzle. When you understand systems, you understand how altering a local water supply impacts regional agriculture and economies. The alignment between the tools we learn and the problems we face is just spot on.
But, wow, here is the tension. You've got STEM competencies on one side, the toolkit, and the desperate need for global action on the other. But possessing these technical skills alone, the source material is abundantly clear. It is fundamentally insufficient. There's a glaring, massive gap right in the middle.
Section 2. The missing link revealed.
So if we literally have the brightest minds in our schools right now, armed with the most advanced STEM skills in human history, what is the engine required to actually get them to pick up those tools and fight? The source material nails this incredible truth in a single sentence. Without self-efficacy, knowledge does not become action. Just let that sink in for a second. Without a very specific psychological spark, all that brilliant STEM knowledge just sits there on a shelf and never becomes meaningful action. That spark? It's Albert Bandura's theory of self-efficacy. Basically, it's the deeply held belief that you can successfully contribute to solving a meaningful problem. This isn't just generic self-esteem or some feel-good mantra. It is a highly specific belief in your own capability to execute the actions required to actually make a difference.
Which brings us to Section 3, the science of self-efficacy. Now, this concept isn't just motivational fluff. It's backed by rigorous academic research. Albert Bandura actually spent decades proving this, establishing the science way before buzzwords like grit were everywhere in education. The data clearly shows that self-efficacy is the exact mechanism driving persistence and resilience. Think about it. When an environmental engineering student hits a wall, it's not just their math skills that keep them from quitting after 5 failures. It's their self-efficacy. That's what drives high achievement when the going gets tough.
Section 4. Building your belief system.
Okay, so how do students and lifelong learners actually build this inner belief system to power their STEM toolkit? Are we just born with it? Thankfully, no. Bandura's framework gives us 4 specific sources of self-efficacy that educators, leaders, and really anyone can intentionally cultivate to bridge that gap. Let's break these down because this is the actual blueprint for creating changemakers.
Source number 1, direct mastery experiences. This means putting in the work and proving to yourself that you can persist through a difficult STEM challenge and come out on top. Imagine pushing through failure to successfully code an app that tracks local water pollution. You don't just get a grade for that, you get a permanent, hardwired boost to your belief that you are capable.
Second, we gain efficacy vicariously through real-world examples. Seeing other young people successfully drive sustainable change makes us think, hey, if they can do it, I can absolutely do it too. This is exactly why showcasing relatable role models who are out there applying their STEM skills is a total game changer. Third up is social persuasion and practical support. We all rely on that practical encouragement from educators, mentors, and peers who look at us and say, your contributions actually matter. And we're not talking about empty praise here, but credible, targeted feedback that shores up a learner's belief in their own capabilities when they're struggling.
And fourth, we have to develop emotional resilience. Let's be real. Staring down the global climate crisis or systemic poverty, that is incredibly overwhelming. To maintain self-efficacy, students have to learn how to manage their physiological and emotional stress so they can face daunting global challenges without just shutting down from the anxiety of it all.
Section 5. Turning knowledge into action. Now that we've got a handle on this powerful engine of self-efficacy, let's look at the practical implications for actually changing the world. For educators and students, the blueprint is crystal clear. Step 1, you must teach the hard STEM competencies. Step 2, you have to intentionally foster that belief system using Bandura's 4 sources. And Step 3, you unleash that combined force squarely at those sustainable development goals.
It really all boils down to this ultimate equation. STEM competencies plus self-efficacy equals meaningful global action. This is the formula that empowers young people. It proves that when a world-class, intellectually rigorous education collides with an unshakable belief in your own capability, well, that's when incredible change actually happens.
I'm going to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. You've seen the data and you understand the missing link. You've got the knowledge and the STEM toolkit to make a difference, but do you have the self-efficacy to actually take action today?